G'day guys. This is a good one. This is me playing because I have the time, because if I can keep my videos ahead of time, I have more time to play and create some crazy looking layouts. Now, this particular piece of paper is actually, it's only 11 by 11. It's one that I used for, it's a leftover that I used for a layout that I did on live the other day. So my numbers were a little bit out. So I flipped it over and decided that I was going to do something a little bit different. I'm just using my compass and I'm just getting some lines down on the paper and making a nice symmetrical pattern. I really enjoy, if you're new to my channel, I really enjoy making backgrounds and using mixed media to create different looks that simply buying a piece of paper, you know, I like to be a little bit more creative sometimes. I will apologize at the beginning of this. I've just done 6 voiceovers. I have COVID and my throat is not enjoying it. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I will try to keep the coughing to a minimum. Okay, so what I'm using here is I pulled out my MARTE acrylic ink and I'm sticking with the blue-green palette. So I'm using the teal. I'm putting some water down. Now this cardstock, just so you know, this is the Poppy Crafts cardstock. It is the 240 GSM that I get from Crafts Online. It's flat white cardstock. It's cheap, but it holds its own. It's pretty good. I have not put any gesso on this page. Okay, so I have not sealed this page whatsoever. And, you know, hindsight, I probably should have, but I didn't. Anyway, so I'm just going around with some water and I'm just flooding the area with some water, then adding some of the ink to it, letting it sort of pool and wick where it wants to go. Keeping it within those lines. I realize there's a big messy gap between them at the moment. Don't worry, that all comes together at the end. I didn't want the colors to actually run into each other. I wanted them to stay separate in their own little sections. So it works. I'm using really big brushes. I don't know why I thought it would be easier with a big brush, but it's what I chose to use, and look, it works. So it was about there that I realized, you know what, you could pick up a filbert or you could pick up a round brush or a flat brush. There would be so many other brushes that I have that would make this job so much smoother. Now, the acrylic ink, this is the MONTE one. I believe you could probably, I know there's other acrylic inks, other brands. This one is a more, for me here in Australia, MONTE is a much more affordable range for me to buy, to play, to try and give you different ideas. Could you use watercolors? Yes, you could. Could you use watercolor pencils? Absolutely. Could you use, you could use your, what are they called? I'm looking at them. Gelatos. You could use gelatos. You could use watercolor paint. You could use diluted acrylic paint. You're going to get a different look, but you know, you could do it. You could use your distress ink. You could use distress oxide. You could use there are so many different things that you could do for this. For me, this particular layout was just letting go and having fun and creating a background, because I love creating backgrounds. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but for me, I love just playing and just getting in the zone and seeing where my creativity can take me. This particular day, I was actually listening to the Osbournes podcast, and it was just, I was having a blast. It took me back to, I'm guessing, the early noughties when, you know, they were on TV, and as dysfunctional as they were, God, I loved that show. It was so dysfunctional and crazy, but I loved it. Now, I'm loving where this is going. So far, are you liking where it's headed? I'm loving the colours. I'm trying to just add some colours there. I could have actually gone ahead and added some more shading with this. So if you decide to give something like this a go, give it a go and do some, do your darker side on one side of all your shapes. And you might actually find that it would look really cool. I had every intentions of going ahead and using some stencils with this as well. So that's why I didn't spend too much time on the colours. I did want these triangles that I'm going around at the moment, I wanted those to be a little bit brighter. So you can kind of see the circle. So you can see that star on the inside. You can see that dark blue circle. You can see the sort of flower shape all coming together. Can you see what the list's endless. You could have added so many more sections to this. Totally your call. Now, I dried this off. You can see there, it really hasn't warped that much. I'm not kidding. This is really good cardstock. It's really good. You can get it in A4 and you can get it in 12 by 12. It's fantastic. And I always get it when it's on sale for like $2.99 for 10 sheets. So yeah, totally works. So here I'm coming in with, I thought I was going to need to mask them off, but I very quickly realised I didn't need to do that. I'm using some Creative Place titanium white acrylic acrylic paint to go through my stencils. I'm making sure that I'm using a very, very light hand because I haven't sprayed the back of these stencils yet. These are the new ones that I just got. I love to spray the back of my stencils with, I use the Crafter's Choice tacky spray, and it allows me to not have to hold it down so much. But I haven't got to doing that yet, and with the way my voice is, I wasn't going to spray it in the room with me this morning. Probably have an asthma attack on myself. So as you can see, I'm just going around and I'm adding a couple of different patterns and just creating a different pattern. That's all it is. But I'm using curved patterns and diamonds. Like I'm sort of trying to get that point and that curve. And yeah, I was really happy with that. Then I remembered I had this stencil and it's an ornate looking stencil. And I thought maybe that could look really good there. And I love it. I got to say, I love it. I love how it turned out. Now, this is not, I'm telling you, this is not difficult. Honestly, this was just me playing. So if you've got a couple of stencils, you could do this so simply and give it a crack. It's so much fun. It feels really, I don't know, it just feels good when you create something from scratch. Now, I changed my photo there. You can see I changed it to a photo of my husband because he's wearing a blue shirt, and I've had that photo sitting there for a while and I figured that will work. So now I want to border everything up, but I want the colors to all match. So I've still got some leftover ink in my little palette here, so I'm just going to town on a scrap piece of cardstock, and then I'm just going to cut some thin strips and put them around the outside edge for my border. I think it works really well because I have a real issue with introducing different like we've all done it. If you've got green and you go, okay, now I need a green border. Oh, that one will have to do. And if it doesn't match, it messes with my head. It really does. So personally, I would rather go ahead and do something like this, and that way I'm able to attach it all down and create my border and know that it's all the same colors. It's come from the same product, and that way I know it will all match. So I have pulled out a 12 by 12 sheet of white cardstock to give me a white border, but then I'm putting the blue slightly further in and then put that one on top. So I was going to just put that one straight on the blue, but I think it needed a little bit more white. And so you can see I don't waste my cardstock. I've cut something out of this, I keep it, then I use that for a border. That's how I get away with being able to scrap so much and get it all done. Like, this is how I do it. The reason I'm using tape at the moment instead of more glue is I'm using these layers to help me keep this layout flat and to flatten it back out. So this is where I am, I'm doing that. It's totally working. I'm using a bit of tape, but that doesn't really stress me out. I find if I do something like that with lots of tape, it helps me keep the layout flat. The tape that I use is actually not very expensive. I think it's only like, when I use the tear tape, it's only a couple of bucks for a whole roll. So see how now my layout is completely flat. Now remember what I said at the beginning, I didn't put any sealer on this cardstock whatsoever. I totally just put really diluted watercolor inks, straight acrylic inks onto this page, and it works. It totally works. So, and didn't destroy it. I love my sticky thumb. It's so cool. Now, I've got to this point. I'm really happy with this. I'm really, really happy with this. Now, this is how you can clean up your lines, okay? I pulled out my Posca paint pen, and it is the 0.9 to 1.2 millimeter. It's the bullet tip. Now, the only problem I was starting to have here was I did start to notice that there was way too much liquid. My paper was reaching its point of going no more. I had a couple of sections that it sort of started to pill on me, but come on, I've put a lot on this paper. And yeah, but it totally, you don't even notice it. The couple of spots where it started pilling, you can't even notice it. So I think it was just there actually. You can see where it's not quite 100%, but this is just crisping up all those lines. Now, I have the intention of going back over these lines with a different product in a minute anyway. So all I'm really doing is just cleaning up those lines to get nice crisp lines. Now, I love how this one turns out. I really like this page, to be completely honest with you. I didn't really think about a title. I have to be honest, of late, I've actually had quite a few layouts that I've gone, I don't really need a title on that page. This is probably one of them, if I'm being honest. It's just a photo of my husband sitting there and looking at me. Like, we're just being silly and didn't really need a title. But I did find this one and it was the right colours, and I thought, you know what? He is wonderful. So that worked perfectly. So I popped it on there and it worked. So it's in the right colours. It's fit. I loved it. Loved it. Now, I love this colour. This is Bahama Bay. This colour that I'm putting on here. It's a liquid pearls colour. And this I felt was going to bring everything together. So I put some flat back pearls on those little ornate bits earlier while I was waffling. And then I wanted to bring in the liquid pearls. I'm trying really hard to be conscious of not overusing one product too much all the time. So I'm trying to show you, well, I can use liquid pearls. I could have sat here and put pearls over that whole thing. Would not have fazed me one little bit. I could have done it. But pull out the liquid pearls and it's super duper simple. Just putting dots down. It's not hard. And look how much extra impact that now has. Now I am still going on this white opal liquid pearls. I've still got a little bit in there and I'm not wasting it. This product costs money. I'm not wasting it. So I go around the circle with white opal, and I think I mentioned the other one. It was Bahama Bay. And then I decide to come on in, once I go around the circle with the white, you've got to be so careful. You've got to be switched on. Don't do this last thing at night, because you've got to be switched on so you don't put your hand in another colour. And this colour is called Brilliant, and it's a lighter blue. It's like a cornflower blue sort of colour. So that is my layout, guys. I hope you like it. Let me know, is there something you would give a try? You know, is there something you would like to... And remember, you can slow this down. If you want to see how I've done something, slow it down. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that sort of thing. Do all the YouTubey things. I've got the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description below if you would like to help me out, buy some product so I can showcase some new product to you. Also, Facebook and Instagram links are in the description below as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll chat to you soon. Bye for now.